I remember the train station under hell. My brother used to tell me the story when I was little. A young man named Chris was late for work one morning. He overslept for 3 hours. It's 11 a.m. Remembering that it's promotion day, he got up in a panic, got dressed and left the house without eating or combing his hair. He used to take the train at 8 a.m. to work every day, but as he entered the train station, it struck him. The train comes only once every morning, and he missed it. He went to sit down on the bench to catch his breath before going home. He knew his boss would understand. It was his first time ever being late for work. While he was thinking about what he will say on the phone, a train approached, stopping in front of him. It made no noise or announcement to signal its arrival, and to top it all off, the train was pale white, having legs instead of wheels. Might be one of those train prototypes the news keeps talking about, Chris thought to himself. This was his opportunity to go to work, proving to his boss that even though he was late, he still managed to get to work. He deserves that promotion. He walked through the train doors and took a seat next to a dog. Other than the animal, the train was completely devoid of people. The dog was like nothing he'd ever seen. Its eyes were black like that of a raven's feather, protruding spinal ridge, and the paws like that of a bear. It's like the dog stared right through his soul, looking into his deepest fears, seeing all his past mistakes. After a few seconds, he broke eye contact with the dog, and when he looked in front of him, he was at a destination. Confused and lightheaded, he stood up and walked out of the train. Almost immediately, a young man came up to him, running and all out of breath. Sir, can you hear and see me?" he asked Chris. "Of course I can see you. Why you ask?" "Well, I've been stuck here for what felt like years. This place is insane. Nobody wants to talk to me." Chris looked around and saw hundreds of people standing around like mannequins, expressionless. The young man walked away in confusion, and after a few minutes, he froze in his tracks, staring into an invisible void. Chris saw him and started to panic, running around, shaking people in an attempt to wake them up, but to no avail. He ran to where he last saw the dog in the train, but it was gone. He shouted for the dog to show itself, and in an instant it appeared behind him. The dog started talking, looking Chris dead in the eye.
"This place is purgatory, Chris, and the concept of time does not apply here. Whoever dies in a train, near one or due to one, will be sent here. After a while, the newly arrived will be frozen in place for all eternity."
Chris is still there amongst his fellow man. No longer a man, but rather an empty shell of what he used to be. What is the moral of the story? Don't be late for work.